Alright, hello and welcome back to Lands of Lore. We have completed the dungeons and are finally going to enter Castle Cimmeria. So, we come to the first floor of the castle, and I'm going to go this way first. Samaria is a pretty obnoxious and trolly kind of location. There are a lot of aspects of this part of the game that can be quite frustrating. The castle in general has a lot of kind of false pathways, as it were. There are ghosts, particularly here on the first floor. A lot of ways in which you can find yourself wasting time, which is annoying. I don't know if, there appears to be a ghost hiding in this wall. But we will persevere, nonetheless. In this first room here, very close to the entrance, there is this sphere, crystal sphere, standing on this pedestal.
It's dawn.
Inside is dawn. So we will take this diamond that we discovered in the dungeons. We can use that to crack the glass.
Ak Shel, Paulson, I owe you my eternal gratitude. And what of Richard? Is he safe?
We have not yet freed His Highness.
I shall gather our forces and return to join you soon. My best wishes go with you.
There is a slightly different dialogue, pathway, whatever, that is included in my Conrad video. If you are interested, you're more than welcome to check that out. It's not much of a difference, but it's nice that they included that, as plenty of games will fail to do so. You can see what I'm talking about, where there's a lot of just passages that don't go anywhere. This is an interesting spot. My understanding is that this will... Oh, got some guys in the way we have to take out.
It didn't do anything.
This... Sometimes these can get finicky. Generally speaking, if the switch has been flipped down in the dungeons, that one close to the end, these should open. But maybe I'll just go double check that that got done. But yes, you should be able to open those by firing a bolt through the doorway. And it has always been my understanding that flipping that switch allows that to happen. But sometimes I think things just get in the way and the game kind of gets confused. This first one, there isn't really anything here, but for the... Did I go past it? No. For the second one, if we go the other direction, we can get a new greatsword. Click in the right spot. There we go. Greatsword Doom, which is pretty decent. It's not quite as good as Justice, right? But we could potentially give it to Bakata. It is slightly better than the... Actually, I gotta check. Yeah, it's better than the Halberd Widow, so we'll probably make this our kind of primary replacement if we're going to use one. There we go. I have some junk items that we'll be able to use. I'm not going to bother healing, it's not worth it. Some junk items that we'll be able to use if we want. This is the portal that actually completes this area, but we're not going to go through there yet. And we also are not going to step forward here, because that creates a problem for us that we don't want to deal with. Yeah, I thought there was one more door to open, although there shouldn't be anything in here either. So there is not. We're going to ignore many of the switches on the wall here, as they just do things that we do not want them to, but there is one that we're going to want to use, or flip rather, and this one directly across from Dawn, as that should allow us to open one of the other doorways. These kind of hanging axe enemies are interesting. They're not really all that strong, but normal attacks just have very low hit rates against them. Whereas you can see that Ak Shel is hitting most of the time with his ranged attack. You could always just use magic against them. Works well, but they're just not strong enough for me to care. This door normally is locked, but flipping that switch right there allows us to open it. And we can come in and collect this key, which frankly has no real purpose. Oh, I didn't realize I was full. Alright. I did stock up on fireball wands, but I'm going to use those more in the next 2 levels of the castle. It's not quite as important here with just these axe enemies. Pressing this button just summons a couple of the axe enemies behind you, which you don't want to deal with. And there is nothing in here either. This door is permanently closed. I don't know if it's just kind of a coding decision where they put it in and they intended to do something and then didn't, or they just thought it'd be a fun false puzzle that people would try to solve and be unable to. But either way, it is it's a nothing door. There's nothing you can do there. But the fact that they included the line of it being jammed makes me think that maybe it was intentional. This door here, you actually can halt it with this switch here. It will restart again once you go through. Oh, you're supposed to be able to halt it. Maybe it's that one. Either way, over here, we have a couple of keys we can try.
That doesn't appear.
Neither of them work. And then we can try our lockpicks.
There is no
That doesn't do anything either. This is another door that you just can't get in. And we come in here. There's nothing here. It was all a big waste of time. Alright, so let's see where we are. Okay. Now, this is going to be interesting because we have to pick up an item here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't need all of these, I don't think. So, I'm going to throw you over there. Alright. And then, I don't think anything's in here either. But there is one item we absolutely want to pick up on this floor, and we want to make sure that we come in this direction, kind of going clockwise around this room, because otherwise we'll get trapped here, have to go back to the dungeons. It's a relatively minor inconvenience, but I would prefer not to deal with it. So, if we step there, we get trapped. So we don't want to step there. We're going to come up here. I don't feel like dealing with all these guys. It takes too long, so we'll just pop them off. And then if you do this part correctly, I'm going to get a ghost on the side here, so let's just come over here. And while we're at it, I didn't really need to do that. Alright, so yes, if we do this correctly, we can get rid of that pit. I often mess it up though, so let's see. That, no. Alright, that got rid of the pit. The pit should be back now. I can pick this up. Oh, alright, good. So we're still in the right place. Alright, come around. Yeah, I don't know why I always have trouble remembering the pattern there, but it doesn't matter. So again, we're going to go this way and do the whole long loop around. Oops. Whee! While we're at it. Just make that be closer to where we're going, just in case we end up wanting it for some reason, which we shouldn't. Nope, next one. Come on. There we go. Alright, now we can go through this portal and go to the second half of floor 1, where, again, there's kind of a lot of stuff to basically just waste our time, in addition to these guys that we still don't want to deal with. Not too worried about our magic or anything right now. The area here is very short, and in a moment we'll be completely safe. So we very much don't need to worry about anything. And these are not very strong enemies. Here we have an annoying and rather fruitless puzzle. I'm using much stronger magic than is necessary. I'm just kind of clicking out of apathy, I suppose. So there's a puzzle here that involves us getting past this pit here by hitting this switch and this switch multiple times. Hopefully you should be able to hit either one in any order. You might have to hit this one first, but... And that moves that pit, and then if we put something into this pit, we should be able to go past it as well, but all it does is bring us to a niche that allows us to kind of put items in and get a payout similar to that face in the swamp. But frankly, there's no more value to money anymore, so there's no reason to do it. And it might also give you less. These switches on the wall you're going to leave alone. If we step forward, we are about to lose our map, our magic atlas, but we will be getting it back shortly. However, it will only be after we deal with a fairly annoying part of this floor, where we just have to move carefully, and we're going to be wasting some of these items. So if we step forward either direction, we will be teleported. And what we have to try and do is find 4 pressure plates without falling in these pits, because if we do fall in the pits, we will be sent down to the dungeons without a map, which is annoying. Alright, so obviously we can't get to that one just yet. Let's try some other directions. And it's very easy to lose track of where you are, because the visuals kind of change a great deal as we step around. This pit, I think, is also going to be unreachable. Alright, that was the one we started with. So you end up kind of repeating yourself a lot, which can be frustrating. And that's kind of part of the trick here, that you get frustrated and then start moving too quickly. Which is what I'm going to try and avoid. Although I keep, as I said, making the exact same mistake. Your compass also is broken here, so you can't kind of keep track of yourself that way. Let's see if this is going to do it for us. No. Alright. Down here. Every time you place something on one of the plates, these pits, the configuration will change, and your ability to navigate through will improve slightly. At least in terms of getting to the locations you haven't previously been at. But it is remarkable how once you've kind of trapped yourself once, it ends up feeling very difficult to kind of get untrapped. I could try putting some things on the ground. Maybe I could try that. This, I think, should teleport me, though. No? Yeah. There are false walls here, but I don't think we're reaching any of them just yet. Alright, I need to get completely away from this area in order to kind of get untrapped here. So let's try here, 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 here. I think I can get to that one. I think I was wrong. Maybe not, actually. Alright, beautiful. So step 1. Now we have a different configuration, and we should be able to get to more of the plates. And now that that's on the ground, we have at least one kind of point that we're able to use to help guide us, and things are slightly easier. So remember that the green skull is on the first plate. Beautiful. And we'll use the gauntlet on the second plate. And I don't think we can get to this one yet. Yeah, that should be the last plate. So that's the gauntlet. Skull is over there, so I think we're trying to get kind of this area. Make sure we're moving away from the skull. Okay, and we'll put a key on there. And then we will try and get to the final one, which should be aligned this way from the key, I believe. Yes. All right, very good. And we will place about one of the flasks on that one. Okay, now let's step forward again. Come in here, open this wall. This area, again, you can get out of it by doing things correctly. I do sometimes mess this one up as well. But if we press this button, we can get the second figurine, which we'll talk more about why those matter. So this is now sealed. And if I press this, no. So I have to put something in here as well and make an exchange. Close that off. And then press this button, and this should open up. Very good. And then this is very difficult to find because there's no particular reason for you to know this is here. But we have a passageway that opens up there. Oops. There is a second passageway. Right here. Secret wall, rather. But there's nothing actually in here. Just kind of is there. So we don't really need to bother with it. We can go back and get most, if not all of those items we put down. But again, there's just no... Oh, I went too far. There's just no reason to bother, so... Alright. Very good. And meant to kind of show on the atlas. So we came out down at the bottom. It's a square here. These are the two secret passages. There is a way to fill in this portion of the map if you fall down a certain pit later. I'm going to try not to do that because I don't feel like it. But it is a thing you can do. This is where I will start using more of the fireball ones. Oops. I guess we'll start healing up here. Because this is a portion of the game where they're most useful in terms of enemies being fairly powerful. The spinning wheel eyeball guys there do pretty strong damage. This button just closes the door behind you, so you don't really want to bother doing that. They do decent damage, but they can also burn your armor. And the spider enemies that we're going to see in a bit also do pretty good damage and have the ability to kind of knock you out with a single hit. So, fairly problematic. Not as strong as the Zeobs, but still problematic. And they, unlike the Zeobs, actually do take a pretty good amount of damage from the fireball ones. So we'll take advantage of that. A lot of meaningless pathways, but we do have a couple of chests with items that honestly aren't going to be a huge amount of value to us. A staff, a dagger, and nothing there. There is going to be a niche. There we go. There's this giant spider creatures. And yeah, that button I don't think really does anything, the one I just pressed. But there is a niche here that we will reveal on the wall by pressing this button. That brings us the Trident Plague, which doesn't have terrible attack, but lowers your attack level by 1, so we will not be using it. But that's where the Plague part of the name comes from. The Bracers of Defense. Alright, so we have slight improvement in that object. Ace of Infinity, which those are fine. Oblivion I'm much happier with. Coins.
Empty.
Alright. I'd like if there was just one more space. It's okay. I'm going to be putting down some items soon to stop bolts from firing. So maybe we'll do that quickly and just go slightly out of order. I don't really need the Valiant's Cube anymore. But just in case I do fall down, I would prefer not to lose it. So what I'm going to do is rush up a little bit farther than I normally would. I would normally like to take care of a couple of things first, but let's just come this way and open this door. And there'll be some enemies. We'll just get some items ready. Okay. And let's see, there's another one here, so we'll throw that down. Those control the two cannons on either side of the wall there. And now that we've put those down, we're going to head back and kind of just restart this little area. Let's get back to where we were. Those kind of spikes there, you can accidentally walk into them. They cause a fairly small amount of damage, but they also just stop you from proceeding in that direction. Basically like a wall that hurts you. Okay, so pick the staff back up. Put that back where it goes. Don't need to worry about those right now. Good. So we can come in here. This door is one that we should be able to pick. Okay. But I don't think there's much of value in here. Yeah, just an empty niche. However, there is another door right here that is part of the reason why you put so much energy into training your rogue up, because up until like level 5 or so of rogue, it's a very low level to successfully pick. So we're going to wear the Jade Necklace that boosts our rogue by 1. We're going to put on the Axe Master that boosts our rogue by 1. And then I'm going to find where I left my lockpicks. And we should be able to do this fairly easily.
This is already unlocked.
Thank you. I appreciate the update, Ak Shel. Press this switch here, and we'll get our third figurine. Okay. There, that's fine. Alright, so let's proceed. Go back up around here. We'll take a look at our map to see. There's just a couple of paths we haven't gone down. There shouldn't be anything of major interest down here, unless I am remembering incorrectly. I believe that is a completely empty room. It is good. Now, given how few friends she has, Scotia has a remarkably large stronghold here. We have two doors here that don't actually go anywhere, at least not yet. We're going to open them on the other side as well. But I was just kind of open them here to have them ready. And back to where we were when we started to encounter enemies again. This door we can't open yet. This completes those two paths we started to open. This and this. And yes, this door we need a key for. We also have to flip this switch in order to open it, so I'll do that now, but we still need to go find the key. And then this door we also, I think, need to find a key for. We might be able to pick that lock, but I generally don't, and I try and wait till I actually get the key. So let's proceed on. And as I said, the fireball ones really do a very good amount of damage against them. And then there's a switch. Oh wait, never mind. I'm sorry. Yes, I flipped this switch. For some reason I was thinking I flipped that to stop the bolts from firing, which is just not accurate. These doors, kind of pressing the button, opens the opposite door. We want to go north first, and then open this wall here, which is going to create more blasts firing at us, but that's okay. We're going to stop that as well. We have a couple of switches to flip, so we're going to hit the north one first. That opens up this niche down here. Gets us the adder key. Yeah, so Bakata kind of got knocked out by the blow we just took. Which is one of the annoying abilities that those spiders have. This area here has some invisible pressure plates that will shoot bolts at us, like that one. Those bolts don't cause enough damage to generally be a lot of difficulty, but it is annoying. I just don't like it. Alright, now let's start clearing out some inventory space by blasting away at these guys with a reckless abandon. Alright. And we'll come down here. This is also empty. Although, if you are in a pinch, these rooms can be a great way to kind of have somewhere to hide and rest, where you can close the door behind you. Down here, we have a large collection of these spider creatures, and we're going to kind of chase them all the way down this hallway. So you can see how much damage they deal with just a single hit, despite us having pretty high defense, frankly. Okay. Oop. Particularly when a group of them get together, I really like to use the wands and take care of it. And in here is an important key that we're going to need. So we'll put that with the adder key. Oop. Okay. Should have done everything down there. Good, we did. And yeah, we'll go up north quickly as well. The important area that we want to get to is further south, but that's fine. Oh, that's right. This is another pressure plate step. So we'll go here first. Nothing here. Up here is a location where you can kind of trap yourself behind a pit if you pull that switch. But we'll go this way first. We'll see that there's nothing here either. And this room also is boring. Some interesting decor, at least. As I said, Scotia is not known for being a pleasant woman. Okay. And then, yeah, so I'm going to avoid flipping that switch, and then I should be able to... Oh, for some reason I thought there was something over here, but I guess I am just misremembering. Alright, so we'll head down to this area down here that we talked about before. And I'm going to try and take my time here, because your first instinct is to hit this button, which actually just opens a pit under you. And what you want to do is hit this button, which will open things this way. This key we do not have yet, but we have these two buttons, and which one do I press? Oh. We'll just have to hope. Let's go with west. Maybe we hit both of them. Maybe that's why I can't remember. All right, let's head this way. Shouldn't be any other switches to hit. Now, if I remember correctly, this pit, what we want to do is throw something across there, and then this should become a false pit. Good, and then we'll step through this portal. And that brings us across over here. And what we're going to do is take this key, the carrion key. That's going to open the door that we just saw before. We want to place that there, and that should make this a false pit as well. Maybe not. I believe there's a way to make this a false pit, and maybe I did it in my Conrad video, and for some reason now I can't remember. Well, let's try it. Ah, well, it's fine. Alright, so this is actually the pit that we have to step down to be able to get to this area while still having our magic atlas. So, we should be able to get through this fairly easily. Alright. And we also could collect a lot of these items if we wanted to, which I don't see any reason to bother. We'll heal Bakata up while we're using our Valiant's Cube. Okay. And we're out. Alright, so we'll just kind of race back through here again. I find that each time through here there are more enemies. I don't know that to be true, but I think it is. And I don't know if it just gives them more time to spawn, or if the game kind of recognizes how many steps you've completed and intentionally puts more enemies in the way each time you do. I'm honestly not certain at all. I don't like being surrounded so much by all these guys. Alright. Wow. Just a never-ending barrage. Make sure everyone still has their armor. They do. Alright. Continue on. And there is... Alright, so I should be able to use... I forget which one does which. Alright, the Noir key opens up this door here. Which allows us to portal up basically to the next level. And this key, the adder key, should open this door, which gives us access to this chest that we're going to open, after which we will give Ak Shel back his appropriate weapon. So this chest also requires a great deal of skill to open. The Westwood stick, which is useless, but I always like to get. I don't think this helm helps... Oh, I was wrong. Okay. Aloe, which definitely don't care about.
Empty.
And let's take care of you. Part of the other reason that I like to use the fireball wands against those spiders is the fact that they just frankly have pretty high evasion compared to a lot of the other enemies. So it's helpful to have something that works pretty well on them. Remarkably, Spark actually does quite a bit of damage to them, and since most of them really only, you're only able to hit them kind of one at a time, it's a pretty effective way to deal with them. Now, in reality, I should probably just go up to the 3rd floor now, but I'm going to come down here for the purpose of unloading a couple of items. We're going to start with the key to open this door, but then I'm just going to put all these down. Because this is where I'm going to need them anyway, and I just want to make sure that inventory space isn't going to be an issue when I get up to the 3rd floor. It shouldn't be, but... this just ensures it. Alright, let's continue back to where we used the Noir key to open that door down to the... or rather, the port door to the portal. Oh, surprised that didn't kill it. Oops, okay. So we'll hit this button. That portal says out. And we're going to rest in here. It's not a lot of enemies in this next area, but it's worthwhile since we just have a closed door behind us to quickly rest up. That honestly should probably be enough. But we are going to want to stay more fully rested for the next floor, where there are a few enemies that cause a great deal of difficulty. Let's just do
I don't have enough mats.
this. Hopefully we should be able to take out both of them. Alright. And there should be a kind of wheelie guy behind here, which in reality you could just leave that door closed and not deal with him. But it's just not our style. I don't know if it's like a mistake how much damage Spark does and how useful it is, but given how little magic it uses, probably should utilize it more. But it definitely only hits one target, so when there's a group, it's less effective. And it's just kind of less fun. I like trying to use the higher levels when I can, but okay. We're going to take this staircase up and head up to the 3rd floor here, where we're going to get a message from our friend.
You will not cheat me again.
Well said. Alright, and I am not going to spell out the puzzle quite as much as I did in my Conrad video, where I really wanted to make it clear the kind of cleverness, albeit also a bit of a missed opportunity with regard to what you have to do here in order to get the 4th figurine. I am going to head down here, but you can sort of see the layout where if you fill in the blocks it says 1 + 1 = 3, and that obviously is false, and we're going to make it say 1 + 1 = 2.
Leave armor here.
Should be able to just leave one piece,
Leave weapons here.
and that should be good enough.
Leave medicines here.
I don't know what happens if you come here and you have no Basel cups, no salves. Not certain.
Leave jewelry here.
And that should be good enough to get us the dull key, which we are going to need in a chest shortly. Alright, so let's head up north here. There's a lot of, kind of cannons that fire at us in this area. If we open this, it reveals a toad monster that I don't want to deal with because I don't like them very much. But we will see them shortly. Alright, this should be about the end of those bolts. But probably the nicest thing about having Ak Shel is that he makes it a lot easier to deal with these guys because he has so much magic. And Mist of Doom is probably the most effective weapon against them. He makes us drop all of our weapons, which is frustrating. It just feels like a waste of time to pick them up every time. And I always have to heal afterwards, or rest rather, to recover the magic. But such is life, I suppose. Alright, this is weird dripping acid that can hurt us a small amount. I also think it might be able to burn our armor. It's oily key, which I think the oily key is useless. I forget. There's a few keys that we kind of stumble upon up here, most of which do nothing, but a couple of which are valuable. Yeah, the acid doesn't really fall all that often, so it's not too much of a problem, but it's there. You can pretty much avoid all of these eyes. There's only a few of them. So it's easy enough to run away, but what can be a big issue is if you ever try to run away and then encounter a second and find yourself getting trapped. Because trying to battle two of them at once is a significant problem. Unless you just kind of use up your Wands of Death or something like that, which really there's no reason not to. I believe this is unpickable.
There is no way to
so this should be the one we need the dull key for. You get this silver key, which we're definitely going to want soon. Okay. And now we get this goofy little thing here where we come down here, we get trapped in this area, but you just press a button and it opens back up. It's completely meaningless, but just one of the little ways that Scotia's castle likes to frustrate you. And you should be dead. Every now and then they'll survive that barrage, but not very often. And that actually might only be if your primary character can only cast a level 3, which obviously Ak Shel can cast 4. You don't need it, but the death key should open this chest. Death's Hand, yeah, is a little stronger, so we'll switch that out. put you down here with your friends. There's no real reason to stay organized anymore. I just kind of do it out of habit. Okay. Very nice. And let's head up here. We'll finish this off. There's just a couple more places to go to up here. And then we are just about finished. And it's just down to saving good King Richard and... Oops, forgot to heal. Oh, let's do this then. Quite powerful. Okay. Oh, that's right. I forgot to get my items. Suppose the irony is I don't really need weapons anymore either. There should be, yes, a button here. And why don't we just go do this? Alright. Very good. Now there's a chest down here that we can open up. And inside we will find some goodies. This is, I think, pretty useless. Yeah, it's not very good. Some cash, which is completely meaningless. And that's about it. Alrighty, so we just have this central area and then finishing off the bottom down here. So let's continue this way. That closes off the wall behind us for reasons of frustrating you, but no actual value. Flipping this, I think, traps us, and we have to step through that, which I don't really feel like bothering with. I think that should be everything. Very good. All right, so let's loop back around and exit down here. That's where the chest was. All right. Good. So now we can come back here. Actually, I'm going to go around this side first. No, I'm going to go around this side first. Oops. Okay. That's fine. So yes, the puzzle is that, quote, the sum must be correct. Otherwise, we can't gain entrance to this area over here. So, press this button, moves that wall. Press this button, and now we have a 2. So 1 plus 1 is now equal to 2. The sum is now correct. And we can... Oops. Had to get hit by it eventually, I suppose. We could come in here.
The sum must be correct.
Now this door opens. We hit this switch. Hit this switch. And that opens up this. Closes the wall behind us. We have to put something in here. And close this. And we are now free. I'll rest here because you're going to get hit by a lot of fireballs coming forward. Fireballs, ice bolts, whatever. Okay, so let's move into this. I guess I can polish off this area up here. You can see these switches here. All that does is move the wall and reveal one of those green toad monsters, which I don't want to deal with because they are frustrating. Oops, forgot about that spinning tile. Doesn't really do anything, but it's there. Okay, very good. Is that everything? Yes, our map is now complete. other than down here, which we're going to go to now. You may be wondering, why have we been chasing these? Actually, you know what I'll do? Let's just buy myself an extra free magic increase. Why have we been bothering collecting these keys? What is it going to do? This does not do anything.
Doesn't fit.
Sorry. Arbalist. Bastion plate mail, which I don't think will improve anyone. Oh. Gives Paulson just a little bit of a boost. Plus, gives me the golden armor, and I just really enjoy when everyone's wearing the golden armor, so... The reason I didn't have either of these on there is because the mail he's wearing now is actually better, but it's okay.
Empty.
Alright, so we have that final secret wall, we have this door here, and we have
An ornate
two
lock.
locks. Are they both ornate?
An ornate lock.
And this door here, and behind that lies Scotia. Now I'm going to collect another key quickly. Just gonna hit, I already hit that switch, which doesn't really do anything. It opens up
The compass appears to be broken.
this niche right here, but there's no value to that. I don't care enough to bother dodging all those. Oh man. My obsession with filling in the map gets me again. Okay, so now we're gonna come up here. And the last key is in here, and what we have to do is just get hit by a lot of fireballs, hit this switch, collect this key, and then run away. Good, and that is everything. So, we could go see Scotia right now, which would be a terrible idea, because we can't actually beat her yet. We need a weapon to help us take down the Nether Mask. So, I think this is going to be our go-to. We need to drop back down to the second floor. This is not right. This is. Probably should have healed up first, but that's okay. Oh, alright. We're one of these weird spots where you can't use magic, or at least not, told you it happens. Go out this way. Nope. Can I use this magic? Yes. Alright. Where are we? Right here. Okay. So let's put some armor on you. And close this door, and then deal with this guy. Heal up a bit. Alright, very good. So let's deal with all of these bad mamma jammas. Continue on. We're gonna go this way. Up and around. More spiders. Okay. Kata is stunned by the mighty blow. Come down here. Hit with a spike. That's okay. Get it by this, which is also okay. And now we have some friends, it seems. They're worried about us getting to King Richard. But we have succeeded nonetheless. Alright, now we actually do need all of these, so we're going to collect the keys. We're going to collect these figurines. And then we can move forward. So, alright, now you're being rude, sir. Very rude. really no reason to rest anyway,
My
so...
liege.
Relax, Paulson. He appears unharmed, but our shroud has been tainted.
What can we do?
We must dispel the Dark Shroud, and then we can heal Richard.
I do wish there was
There's a ray
a
of hope.
reason to know which of these to do first, but it's kind of just trial and error.
A breakthrough, perhaps.
I'm fairly certain the
The
humanoid
light
is
follows its
next.
path.
A pattern is developing.
Light brightens the day.
Outstanding. I think I've got it.
Darkness cannot stand the light.
I love Paulson's energy.
I knew we could do it.
Brilliant. The shroud is restored.
Quickly, we must heal Richard.
Alright, so the keys have to go where their respective individuals were standing in the room.
It fits.
Nathaniel should be down here. Sharon.
Each
Ah.
key must be returned to its proper location.
Yeah, failing doesn't actually matter, but I just like to get it right.
Let us supply the elixir now. I can tell by the foul stench that I must be in Cimmeria.
Yes, my liege.
It appears that I owe you all a debt of gratitude, but it must wait. What of Scotia? Has she been vanquished? Scotia is said to be in the castle, but how shall we defeat her? She has changed form to thwart us on many occasions. Take this ring, the Shard of Truth. Legend says that only truth can reveal the nether mask and foil the hag. I am too weak to join your group. I would merely slow you down.
Your Highness, how shall you defend yourself?
If you could spare a weapon, I would be grateful.
And I'd like to give him the Westwood stick, as this game was made by Westwood Studios. Just seems fitting.
Thank you, Ak Shel. You are a noble subject.
And we can just leave now. So what we must do is combine the Ruby of Truth with the Shard of Truth to form the whole truth. And then, even though there is precious little in the game to let you know this, what you have to do is... I'm just gonna go, I don't care. What you have to do is use the whole truth at a time when Scotia is using her nether mask to try and transform. And by doing that, you will break the nether mask. Now, if you don't do it in the first 2 or 3 times that she attempts to transform, she will turn into the Executioner. And if she does that, it is essentially impossible to win. She really doesn't take any damage. The only way I've ever been able to cause even a small bit of damage is by throwing things at her, and that is not exactly a potent attack. So you are quite limited. And it's pretty much a guaranteed game over at that point. But we should not have to deal with that. In fact, she will be aggressively easy, and all of these Bandit's reserves will be going to waste. Probably these 2 Guardians should do it. Maybe the Ace of Oblivion here, but really shouldn't be much of a problem at all. Alright, I wanted to just save quickly, just in case I want to play around with
So, You worthless dogs have come to your deaths.
It is you who will breathe your last, Scotia.
Ha! You brought my ruby and it shard to me. That fool Richard actually believes the old tale that they may defeat my nether mask. It is folly. They shall give me even more power.
We shall see. Good. Alright, so yes, we have prevented her from transforming. And now she is really not much of a threat at all. Let's use the lightning wand. Never used this. And we'll finish her off on her own. Oh, that was wrong. That's fine.
Well,
Fact is, we're just too well
It
prepared.
looks like a mortal blow.
Fool! My death will not save you from our wrath!
Our wrath is referring to her son, who is the main character of the second game. Although he's not quite as on board with her plans as she might think.
Congratulations, Ak Shel. You have served me well. We will remember you as our greatest champion.
A luckier adventurer Gladstone never saw.
It has been a pleasure serving with you.
Dawn is awesome. Jaren is the worst. And now we get a run through of all of the enemies that we faced, or at least most of them. We'll also get a chance to see some of the enemies that Scotia could have turned into. We have the boar that we found outside of Gladstone. The Cabal warriors, who are just a overall disappointment. Giant hornets helped provide us with a cure for King Richard. One of the two races that we arbitrarily annihilated at the request of some other random people who had an item that we wanted. A race that we did not exterminate. The lizards from the Southlands. The giant walking spiders. Terrifying visually. The Minotaur is one of my favorite enemies. These guys, who are not one of my favorite enemies. Pretty much any enemy that can burn your armor is always going to be low on my list. I like these guys a lot. I think that they are probably one of the best in terms of their difficulty for the level you're at, with an overall cool design. Rock Huge has always been a little bit disappointed by. They just kind of like visually don't make sense. These guys, I think, are well designed to look pretty terrifying. These guys are bizarre and don't really make any sense, but I am amused by them at least. The Gorkas, our great trading partner, who I almost never engage in battle. The Thugs. This is one of the creatures that Scotia will turn into. It's the only time that we will see that particular sprite. Of the cast coming through. I always make a point to emphasize the existence of King Richard, being played by Patrick Stewart. I'm sure many of the others are popular voice artists, though I personally don't know them. It looks like, yeah, we are now recycling through the enemies. Means that we're fairly close to the end. learn some of the names of individuals that otherwise you wouldn't necessarily know, like Dom, the dope boat rower. I never knew that his name was Dom, outside of seeing here. Math Pasha, the chieftain of the Gorka. The mailman Gref, who just kind of rambles about all kinds of pieces of history. That should just about do it. Yep. You should see the final screen of our champion. All right, well, hopefully you enjoyed. We'll end the video here and see you next time. Till then, bye.